Hello all, welcome to my channel. I am Raju Pujala. In this video, let's talk about the integers and the floats and also its functions, like how to round the value and especially when we have too many decimals, and how to round the value to the upper value or the lower value, and also how to convert negative values into positive values, and how to apply the square roots or exponential values or the powers, logarithms, and the modular divisions and everything in this video. Let's go ahead and let's see. Okay, I'm creating a new tab over here. If in case if you have not watched my previous videos, I strongly recommend you to watch the rest of the videos in the playlist to understand how to create the GCP projects and also how to land on this page. So let's start with a simple number. So 1, 2, 3. This is a number, okay, and we can also have something like -456 as negative number. This is a positive number and this is a negative number. So once we execute, it returns two columns with the positive number and the negative number, right? Let's see one more. Mm, let's take one more tab. Let's look at how we can sum. For example, select 10 plus 10 as sum, okay, and then 50 into multiplication into 2 as product multiplication. We can also do as this by listing the columns, so it successfully returns the value. And also what we can do, we can also use the case when statements. For example, select case when 100 greater than 20, then greater, else smaller, and as comparison. So we can also do something like this. The same query we can also write in a real world. For example, I'm commenting this one. So for example, with data as select 100 as numeric 1, okay, um, comma, select 20 as num 2, okay. So now select start from data. Mm, okay, expected that. Oh, okay, 1 second. Sorry, remove the select word from here. Let's execute this one. Now you can see 120. For example, let's write like case one. If in case if you wanna see like number one is greater than number two, case one num one greater than num two, then greater, okay, else smaller, and as comparison. So this is how we can write the same above query in a real world with the dynamic code. So this is also good. And now let's take a look at the float values. So anything which has a decimals is a float value. For example, select 3.14 as pi value. This is a float. Minus 0.5 as negative float. So these are the float values. Anything which has like decimals, this is a float value. And also we can also do sum and the multiplications. Select 1.0, this is a float, plus 2.5 as summing, okay, and 10 divided by 2.5 as divisi. Okay, let's run this one. Select run and run this one. You can see it works totally fine. And let's also see about the other functions in the integers. Okay, now let's go ahead. So let's look at the round value. Why you have to use a round value, I'm going to explain this in matter of seconds. 3.14123 as num1. Okay, if you execute this one, so you see all the values over here like 3.14123. But ideally, whenever we are performing the calculations, we only take two values from the decimal. So we can do something like round off 3.14123 as num2. Let's see how this is going to work. This is only generating one. This is just simply rounding the value because it is 3.14. It went back to 3. What if I do 3.74123 as num3? So this may, let's see whether it generates 3 or 4. So this generated the value as 4 because anything which is less than 3.5, it will go back to the original value, or if anything is greater than 3.505, it goes to the next value. This is how we can use the round. And let's see, if in case if you would like to round only two decimal values, how we can do. Round two decimal values, select round 3.14123 comma 2 as num1. Let's execute this one. You can see it has rounded to value 3.14. Okay. For example, if you have one more like round of 3.74112 comma 2 as num2. So basically this is not using the ceiling or the flooring functions. They are like simply rounding off 3.74. Whenever you're not mentioning the values, it is either rounding it to the original value or it is going to the next value. But whenever you mention like, hey, this, I mean, I want only two decimal places, this is actually returning the original values. So this is how the behavior of the round function works. And now let's talk about the seal and floor. Okay, so for example, select round of 3.14123 as num1, right? And now when we execute this one, what it is going to happen? It is generating as 3. But if in case if we would like to control this one the way it is generating, and if you'd like to master this one, you can use the function called seal. So let's see this one. Seal of 3.14123 as num1, num2. So basically what this is going to do, it will generate the next value, which is the 4. So basically seal is the upper one and floor is the below one, down one. And for example, if you use the floor 3.14123 as num3, so it will return the value as 3. Unexpected literal. You can see it has returned the 3. So basically what's the conclusion over here? If you are using the round value, so basically based on the value, it is going to return a value. And if you want to return the original value, I mean, if you would like to ignore all the decimals, you can use the floor. And if you have decimals and if you would like to round it off to the next value, you can use the seal. So for example, I mean, how it is useful. For example, if you go to a supermarket like Walmart or Dmart, okay. So basically, what they do, they use the seal function over here. For example, if in case if your bill is $24.26, they will use the seal function and they will round off your bill as $27. So they never, because they don't want to lose this 26 dollar 26 cents. Similar the floor, sometimes if you see if it is like $24.26, maybe if you go to the normal local shops, they will say the bill has $24. So basically they use this floor function. A round function, again, it again depends on the requirement. But it's very good to know like how to control the numbers and how to play with the numbers. And now let's go ahead and let's see the absolute values. ABS, 12 absolutes. So basically, absolutes are nothing but it's one of the function which helps to convert a negative value into a positive value. For example, let's say that I have minus 10. Okay, and if you want to convert this as a positive number, you can use the absolute values. So for example, select absolute of minus 10 as value 1, and let's see what's the behavior of absolute values for the positive values. Value 2. If we run this one, you can see that it has written 10 10. So basically, if you pass a negative value, it will convert into a positive value. If you pass a positive value, the value remains same. So where this is really helpful, This is really helpful when you are performing calculations in the machine learning, for example, the accuracies or the precision score, something like that. And let's look at the powers. Okay. Select power of 2 comma 3 as power 1. Okay, let's see this one. What value it returns? It returns 8. So how it works? So basically 2 power of 3 is that 2 power of 3, which is nothing but 2 multiplied by 2 into 2. So this returns 8. For example, let's see one more value. Power of 5 comma 3 as power 2. Let's run this value, and you can see power it has written 125. So how it works? So 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5. So this is like 5 is 25, 25 is into 125. So this is how the power function works. And now let's look at square root functions. Okay, so I mean, as a beginner, do you need to learn all of this? I strongly suggest you, if you know all these functions, basically it really helps you to have a good command and control on the SQL instead of going back to ChatGPT. So square root is nothing but the square root of a number. So, for example, select square root of 16. It returns as a 4. We all know square roots. And square root of 25, it returns the value as 5, right? So for example, let's also do square root of 5. Let's see what value it returns. Interesting, isn't it? Let's click on run. You can see, so 4, 5, and the 2.23. And if in case, if you want to round the value into only 2, you can use the round function here, comma 2. So I mean, if in case, if you don't know how to use the round function, basically you always end up with the large number which has like too many decimals. So that's the reason you have to learn all the basics actually. And also now let's look at exponential value. So I mean, if we are actually dealing with logarithms and I mean e raised to the power of number, so then you have to learn this one. I really hate this one. I'm just going to give one example. Exponential number 1 as exponential value. I don't see any use of this one until unless we are in the machine learning space. So one exponential of one value is 2.71. We all know this one. And also let's look at the logarithm values. Log of so basically, if I take the same value and if I put the log as log value, so basically this returns the output as 1. So exponential of 1 is 2.71, and logarithm of 2.71 is like is 1. And also, if in case if you wanna see, like select log of 10 comma 1000. So now let's see what this returns. I'm very poor in logarithm, so okay, 25. Cool. And we have few more functions to discuss in this video. Let's look at sine. What exactly is a sine? Okay, so if there is a requirement and if you would like to know like whether the value is a negative value or a positive value, let's assume that how many students have attended the class. So for example, 10 returns like 10 people have attended, and minus 10 returns like compared to yesterday, minus 10 people were absent or something like that. Let's see how many are present and how many are um, absent. So and if in case if plus and minus are distinguishing, like whether the students are like present or absent, we can use the this one sign. For example, sign of minus 42 minus 24 as this returns a negative value, right? And let's see this one, sign of 24 as positive value. Okay, sign of 0, let's see what it is going to return as 0 value. Let's run this one, And whenever it is a negative value, the value is negative, it returns the value as -1. And whenever it is a positive value, it returns the value as positive. And whenever it is a zero value, it returns the value of zero. So by looking at this one, you can tell that, oh, this is a positive value, this is a negative value. Or example, let's see in a real world with the data as, let's look at the profits. Okay, select Walmart as company name, $1,000 as revenue. Okay, union all, select Alcon, minus $200 as a revenue. And let's do one more, select Novartis, the zero. Okay, so we have revenues like this. And if in case if you would like to see like how many companies which has like a negative revenue are in the losses, how many are in the positive, and how many are like neutral. So what we can do, we can just like sign off revenue as mark. Let's run this one. Okay, see now +1 indicates it is like in profits, -1 indicates it is in loss. Or also we can make something like this if you want, like case when sign of revenue is equal to 1, then profit, profits, profit, or case when sign of revenue is equal to -1, then losses, else neutral, and as mark from data. Let's run this one. Mm, else, okay. Expected keyword else or end, but got keyword. Okay, sorry, no case for two times. Let's click on run. Now you can see that this is in the profit, this is in the losses, this is in neutral, and how we can achieve this one by using the sign indicators. And let's talk about the truncate. To be very honest, I never use truncate, but actually what it does, let's do this one, 3.14123 as trunk value. Let's see what this returns. So this returns the value as 3. And for example, trunk of 3.14123, comma, let's say like two decimals I want as value 2. So this also returns the value as 3.14. So this similarly works as integers. I mean, so the round function, and it's good to know how it works. And then the last but not the least is the mod function. So what is the mod? So let's do this one. Select 10. Select mod of modular division of 10 comma 3 as mod value 1. Okay, this returns the value as 1. So what is this one? So if we are dividing the values, for example 10 divided by 3, so 3 3 is 9, right? And then there will be one value which is missing, which is the one. So whatever the modular division that it's not the remainder, this is a division value, this one. For example, if we say something like mod 25 comma 5, so basically this returns like value as 0. Mm. Yep. So this is how it works. Thank you for watching this video. I know this is a lengthy video, but I thought it would be better if you learn everything through my channel and this playlist. I wish you happy good learning.